Zsolt.
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 Z-S-O-L-T.
Salt. Salt.
Zh.
Just. Zsolt.
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 Zsolt. Zsolt?
Yes.
Zsolt.
Zsolt. Hello guys, this is Zsolt Kálmán, your home pizzaiolo and pizza vlogger. Welcome back in the channel. We are here in Budapest, and guess who is here? Mr. Marco Fuso. Hello Marco!
Hi Zsolt!
Welcome in Budapest, more precisely Sóskút, near to Budapest. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have some chat with you and maybe sharing some pizza topics with all the community.
Absolutely.
And,
more than happy to do that for you guys. Also, very first time in Budapest for me.
Ah, okay.
So let's see how it looks tonight.
My pizza story started like 5-6 years ago. At the time, there were not so many social media appearances from pizzaiolos, or especially the ones who are willing to share, you know, all the secrets and the treasures of this knowledge. You were one of the key people who, regardless, was in the media and also helped me and many others in the globe with all the small videos, with the shorts, with the small movies. You were the one who helped me to start with my first biga pre-ferment success, and therefore I immediately ended up being in the Canotto contemporaneous type pizza world.
Yes.
You were in my life the inspiration for me for this path. That's basically my story, how you came into the picture.
From my mother's side, my granddad and all my uncles, they were all bakers. My granddad used to own a bakery in Lecce, Puglia, where I come from.
Ah, okay.
South of east of Italy. When I was like 8-9 years old, I was the first born boy on this side of the family. And obviously my granddad used to take me to the bakery after school every single day. When I was like 17, my dad bought a restaurant. And then there is where I decided to move to the pizza side. My granddad, unfortunately, in the meantime, he passed away. But all that, you know, that he was pushing me to do all these things together.
That gives you the first
push. Exactly, the push to become a pizza maker. That is where it started for real. So like you said, at the very beginning was very difficult because around 30 years ago, the chefs, the pizza chefs, the older one, they weren't keen to share anything with the young pizza chefs. There were no social media, not even phones, imagine. So you had to go to competitions to try to learn from masters, the gray hair ones.
Yes.
So literally, after 2-3 years, I started to compete in competition. I was part of Pizzaioli Association in Lecce. And then literally, through this, I started to learn few bits. But still wasn't enough, because for the first 6 years I've done competition, I haven't even got to the first 10 in the table. So, but I never give up.
Okay.
So after, you know, a period of learning, asking, you know, stuff like that, and try to learn as much as I could, I finally start to get my first podium. And trust me, if you never give up and you get the first satisfaction, you become unstoppable. So I become one of the most award-winning pizza chef in Italy as well. So
Okay.
I won so many competitions. Obviously that brought to me, you know, to give some popularity in Italy first. Then I moved to the UK, where I actually start to continue my pizza journey, let's say. I think the UK is the place that give me the push, the final push to become who I am today. I'm not there yet, yeah? Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
Never be happy where are you. Just try to be up and up and up as much as you can. So motivation, they never stop.
Okay.
So 8 years ago, I started the pizza school. And then I was, like you said, one of the first pizza chefs to start to share a few secrets, you know, on social media. And then through the school, the biggest satisfaction is that people coming from all over the world. Just because I started to share my secrets, I would say. I like to share because when I was a young pizza chef, nobody was sharing with me. So exactly, you know, the thing that at the very beginning you told me, it made me like having, you know, shivers.
Yes.
So this is what life should be. We should help each other anyway.
You were the one who gave me the most value-added information about how to deal with biga and started my contemporary journey. That was one of your little series which was shot in the UK, the Arla Pro,
the Arla Pro, yes.
Short films. You are Italian. You mentioned you live in London, in
Yes,
the
I
UK. So how it comes together? Why an Italian is ending up in London?
Well, this is something I'm gonna share with you. I never made it public, but I'm gonna do. What happened was between 2006 and 8, I did a few little investments. You know, I had a pizzeria, a few little things.
Yeah.
But there was a crisis, so I invested the money in the wrong places.
Okay.
I lost everything.
Uh-huh.
That made me depressed for about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So literally, I didn't get out from my room at all. I lost everything. You know, I
Yeah,
was not rich, but I was, you know, comfortable. After I went over like into this period, you know, my little city, which I still love, was a kind of cage. Now I was stronger than what I had, what I went through. So I want to get, you know, to acknowledge a new challenge. And then it's very curious because on Boxing Day 2008, I phoned up one of my best friends, who is also my witness of my wedding.
Yeah.
And he was in London.
Ah, okay.
Just to say Merry Christmas.
Okay.
And then the first thing first, I said, do you have a double bedroom? Or if you have a single, I can sleep on the floor. I come in there for a couple of weeks. I really was needing only.
Okay.
So this is how it started.
That's how it started.
Imagine that after 8 days, I was supposed to go back to Lecce and 15 days, I was already working in a pizzeria. So I went back home after 2 months and a half just to sell my car, my things,
Okay.
and go back to London because I fall in love straight away with that. It's an amazing city, let's
Yes.
be honest. People are polite, and I love that. Everyone respects everyone. It's a multicultural, and if you work hard, there are lots of opportunities.
Okay. I used to be in Manchester for various trainings in my profession. I also catch that you have classes in Manchester,
Yes.
not only in London.
I have a triple location.
Ah, triple
We do
location.
courses in Glasgow as well.
Ah, okay. Also in Glasgow. Very nice. I was started to think I may end up in one of your classes because I wasn't in the UK for a long time. But congratulations for
Thank you very
growing
much.
your business
I really
such a
appreciate
wide way. From a pizza perspective and pizza culture perspective, you are, as an Italian living in the UK, how do you feel the pizza culture within the UK compared to the Italian way?
I've been living in London now for about 16 years.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
And I would say that when I arrived there, pizza was horrible.
Okay.
You know, there was no knowledge. Not just there, all Northern Europe,
Yes,
even
yes.
southern country like Greece, Spain. I mean, pizza is a national Italian dish. There is nothing
Yes.
wrong with that. But nowadays, the level of pizza all around Europe especially is very high. Not just there, you know. South America is getting better, the US,
Yes.
they finally start to understand what Napolitan pizza is, and so on in Asia. So pizza nowadays is something that everyone wants to have. Italy, because it's where this dish has started, you know, it was invented, it will be always 10 years ahead everyone.
Of course.
The knowledge of making the dough especially, and also the toppings. We are a little bit purists, so you know, pineapple, these things, we really don't love that on pizza. But in terms of creation, using the toppings in certain way to create something amazing, Italy will be always there. Because
Yes.
why? It's simple. There are kind of 3, 4, 5 generation pizza chefs.
Yes.
We actually in England, in you know, over here, someone starting the first generation. And what I'm happy about England is, because I'm based there, is that finally now there is lots of people that have chosen to be a pizza maker. While like, you know, 10 years ago,
Sure.
you will never see an English person making pizza. So now
Yes.
this has changed massively, which means that in the next decade, so you know, something like that, pizza will grow up a lot. I've been only making pizza all my life, but obviously it comes after my family, you know, family always first. My philosophy about pizza is simply keep it simple.
Okay.
Don't make it too complicated. Dough is something simple, it's made few ingredients. Also, it's important for, depending where you're having the pizza, the country, to use some local ingredients, and I agree that pizzeria should have those. But when it's about Italian recipe, don't make it too complicated.
Okay.
Don't change it. enjoy it as the Italian invented it. So that's my philosophy.
You are a trainer and the coach and the mentor. What is your experience about the typical mistakes that the beginners make with the dough, and what is your suggestion or proposal how to overcome on these issues?
Well, there are a few mistakes. Some of those are when you make the dough, not checking the right temperature when the dough is ready. Remember that in winter 20 to 23 should be the right one, in summer 16 to 19, all right? That you do especially if you do Napolitan style. So checking the temp, using the right flour for the time you want to prove your dough is such a vital and important step as well. If you're making pizza in 24 hours, don't use Manitoba. That requires a long fermentation time, you know? And then obviously the cooking, in my opinion, is the most important part. Not just because I'm a Moretti ambassador and then I explain us that because heat is an ingredient.
Yes.
If you bake perfectly your base, it doesn't matter what oven you use. Your pizza will be always fantastic. If you don't bake enough, one will be good, one less good. You know,
I agree.
Those are the most important steps for me. Obviously, all the rest come with practice. So. I'm positioning myself in the middle. I'm not against the tradition at all. Remember that without traditions, all what comes next will never be there. Makes sense? So traditions are very important. But innovation is part of our life. Why we have Canotto pizza today? Why we have a smartphone today? Why we still don't have that kind of, you know, big phone with a big antenna?
Yes.
So everything evolves in our life. The food, ourselves, technology. Also pizza has evolved.
Sure.
So it's good to keep traditions, and that's why I'm in the middle. I love tradition, I love traditional pizzas, nothing wrong with that. But I'm a young pizza chef despite I'm 46. And then I like to innovate myself. I like to motivate myself to go higher and get new things and, you know, get new flavor, new aromas on my dough. So this is the goal for any pizza chef out there. So keep traditional things, but don't be scared to innovate at all.
So then you may check on my limoncello canotto video.
Yeah, that's an innovation, you see? So why not? You can try things out. Obviously, after that video, don't go to Naples, so there won't be a...
Okay.
My pizza, very light, nice and crispy. I love this dish.
I guess you are still excited to do all of this. So what gives you the energy and the innovation?
Pizza itself, as well on God. Every time, like a beautiful pizza or perfect pizza comes out of the oven, I look at it like the very first pizza I made. And this is nearly 28, 29 years after I start to make the first pizza. So literally, that love, that passion, every day I'm so tired, even when I work 12, 15 hours. But the next day I'm so tired, I see that pizza, everything goes away.
Okay.
Because I think when you love what you do, you know, you're again unstoppable. And then you go over tiredness and all that frustrateness, stress, everything can go. So I think, pizza is my life. So that still makes me go. One day when I want to love pizza anymore, you won't see me on social media anymore.
On your pizza journey, on a certain point, you made the decision you want to create something special, flour,
Yes.
with your name. Tell us a little bit about your flour.
This project was born in 2020 during the pandemic. So literally at the third month of first lockdown, I was having already my pizza school, my business.
Yeah.
But that was physical courses. So obviously billions of people were stuck at home. First month it was beautiful, everyone with family, kids after a very long time. Second month, still enjoying it, but start to think what's going on.
Okay.
Well, at the third month, many people like me that couldn't work or they do this kind of online job, but they couldn't get grants because they had no business, a physical business. I was a bit scared. So I start to think how to diversify my business.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I'm Italian, I have a bit of follow. I teach people how to make pizza. So to make sure that I provide for my family, I mean, this is what everyone should think, right? I need to create something that whoever does the classes with me, obviously has to be something authentic, beautiful, working very well, good, can continue to use, and you know, let's say 1 penny from here, 1 penny from there, 1 penny from there, you create something like every business,
Yes.
you know, and then whatever gonna happen next, because at that point that you don't
Yes.
know, you know, will bring some money potentially. So I start to think tomato is made once a year, tinned. If they get it wrong, that is,
Yeah.
you cannot change anything. Maybe mozzarella, oh, very difficult in the summer, especially I'm in the UK. So
Yes.
all that business was supposed to born in the UK. Said no, difficult because 4 months a year. Imagine you order a full container and something happened on the way. The cold chain is
Yeah.
stopped. We're gonna pay for that.
Yes, sure.
Insurance, maybe. So I thought, okay, I teach people to make pizza, so let's do flour. So the idea was to make it in England because all the English flour for pizza declared on a bag for pizza, they weren't great.
Okay.
And I say this because in the first 3 months I used every single flour in there that could find the, you know, shelves in the supermarket, or I could buy online 16 kilo bags and stuff like that. So I wrote down a business plan, which was creating a flour in the UK, find the right flour mill to give me the opportunity to make the flour under my specification. I've been
Yes.
a technician for about 3-4 flour mill in Italy.
Okay.
So I knew more or less how to, you know, but still I need someone from the technical team, a miller, obviously to work with me and me give the instructions how the flour has to be elastic and so on. He has to mix the blend and stuff like that. I wrote an email to 20 English flour mills.
Okay.
Only 2 came back to me.
Ah.
One, which I started straight away, because the other one was a little bit more serious. I'm not saying the names because it's not
Sure.
right, but it's an experience and I would love to put it out there. The first one, he understood that there was a huge business, and so at one point he was pushing me not to do it under my private label. So I discarded it. As soon as COVID went a little bit far away, they got in touch with me and they gave me the opportunity to create that.
Okay.
So imagine that we are now in September, right?
Yeah.
2025.
Yes.
I started this project around early 2022. The
Yeah.
first bag of flour, blue, came out on January 2023.
Okay.
After more than a year of tests and stuff like that. We sold only 100 bags. Last July we sold nearly 4,000
Hmm.
in 2 years and a half.
Okay.
So many thanks to everyone who was using the flour. After that, red came out.
Okay.
Now red is a very different flour that you can find out there. It's simply flour. There is nothing inside. No preservative, no additives, no, pure flour. Why I did that flour like that? It's a controversial because flour nowadays, you put it in a mixer, you blind yourself. Someone guide you to add, and the dough is made anyway
Okay.
because of
All
human,
the additives.
you know,
and so-
stuff like that. I made this flour that was remind me when I was in the bakery. Okay, these 50 kilo bags that my uncles were, you know, really
Okay.
difficult to try to get inside the bakery. And then things were very simple at the time. If my granddad wanted to do a different bread, he was mixing the different flour.
Okay.
Nowadays, no, you have everything ready. So I wanted to go back a little bit. And then again,
Okay.
for the first 6 months, we launched Red in England. people weren't getting it right.
Okay, okay.
Because obviously it's the pizza chef that has to make the dough,
I see.
and not vice versa. So nowadays, like I said, flour is so simple. Whoever was using this one, my red was a little bit concerned. Oh, it's raising a little bit. Oh, this. But luckily, no, I start to push the flour to, to certain people who understand more about pizza. And now I would say this red is very successful as well. Now, in the meantime, in January, I launched the 1 kilo flour. All right.
Okay.
Now that flour also, I starting an expansion. MFP pizza flour can be sold everywhere, but the UK production remain in the UK. Now, wherever we're gonna sell the flour, in Hungary maybe I don't know, in Slovakia or in Greece, wherever, Germany, is made in Italy.
Okay, okay.
This is unfortunately better because of the Brexit.
Oh, here it is. Here it is, guys. You should try this flour.
Very, very quick, I would say that I made it simple for everyone, for whoever gonna purchase or sell this flour. In the back there is a QR code. You scan it and it brings you to a YouTube video, a tutorial, will literally give
What
you
a surprise.
the opportunity to learn to make the dough by hands, and then if you make pizza at home or by machine. All right, but this flour in particular is suitable to make Napolitan style and thin crust as well, and crispy style, but also focaccia.
Okay.
This is because it's able to absorb very well water.
What about contemporanea or Canotto style?
You can do contemporary as well, but because it's 13% protein content, I would suggest you make the biga and do 4 hours room temperature, then 20 hours in the fridge.
Okay.
And then you protect a little bit the gluten to not to be stressed that much from the yeast, and then you still get beautiful crust.
So altogether,
on a very light base.
Altogether, you mean like 48 hours process?
I would say 4 hours at room temp, you make the biga, then after this 4 hours, depends on the temperature as well as everything on dough making. You move it to the fridge, you store it in the fridge at 4 Celsius degrees, and you leave it there even for 36 hours, to be honest.
Okay.
If you are in a hurry, in rush, 20 hours in the fridge is enough. If you don't have that time, you decide to make pizza the day after, the fridge will be the perfect place to keep your biga safe. It will go a little bit more smelly.
Okay.
You can add, if you want a little bit of crispiness, add 100 grams of semolina.
Okay, I see.
Remember, semolina is the flour that pasta is made, so the gluten is way more strong. It's able to make the pizza a little bit tougher.
So, and all of this, what we talk about, is the biga stage, correct?
Biga stage. Otherwise, you can make a big Napoli, and then you make the actual dough.
Yes.
And then usually when I make the actual dough, I can use it between 4 to 24 hours.
Okay.
After 4 hours, it depends, especially if in the actual dough you're going to add any fresh yeast. Make sense? I always would suggest even half gram as a starter. Your dough will rise better. And don't forget to add a little bit of malt, honey, or sugar to balance back the caramelization.
Okay.
Instead to get pale pizzas.
So, I'm definitely going to try it.
Yes, it does make a beautiful Napolitan as well.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Enjoy this flour.
I have a small pizza community. On Facebook, we have a group called Pizza Canotto and You. And I also have my channel, Zsolt Kálmán Pizzaiolos. What is your message to our community?
Love pizza every time. Make pizza, make love. Making pizza is more than an hobby, in my opinion. It's something unique. If you make pizza at home, involve your kids if you have any. You know, even if they make mess, doesn't matter, but you have a different day. And pizza is something convivial. Share it with your friends, with the people you love. And then it always will be a unique experience.
You start with a hobby, then you end up with a passion.
And practice a lot.
Practice. All right.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Zsolt.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you, my friend. It was great.